Am I the a-hole for getting remarried quickly after my husband cheated and left me? I, 40 female, met my husband Ben, 38 male, in 2015 through mutual shared interests. We began dating, and at the end of 2016, Ben proposed to me, and I said yes. We had a wedding at the end of 2019 before COVID. I was the happiest I had ever been. I had married my best friend, and I believe that our marriage and relationship were perfect. We had our ups and downs the same as any relationship, but never had any significant fight or issues that would have tainted the relationship. After the COVID lockdown ended and we were able to return to work as normal and be more social, I started noticing changes in Ben. He would set up his work schedule so that he was away from home more. He wouldn't accompany me to things like movies or family outings. He would get short and snappy with me. He just began to feel cold and distant. In my heart, I felt like he had already left me. In March of 2022, I had to travel out of state for a weekend. While I was gone, Ben would not answer my phone calls, texts, etc. He also disconnected and deactivated the security systems at our home. All red flags. After crying and battling myself internally over what I should do, I decided to return home from the trip a day early without telling Ben. I got home at 3 a.m. on Sunday. Ben wasn't expecting me home until Monday. When I came into the house, Ben was asleep alone and his phone was beside him. I picked it up and walked out of the house to go through the phone, the first time I had done this in our relationship. The things I found made me sick. He had been sending pictures through Snapchat to various women. He had been Googling addresses and directions to different women's houses. I checked the GPS in his car, and the addresses had been entered there. Ben suffered from erectile dysfunction, so he kept Viagra in the house. I knew he had just refilled the prescription before I went out of town, so I grabbed the bottle and found that several pills were missing since I left on Friday. His screen time showed hours and hours logged in the messenger and phone, but he had deleted all phone call records and text messages so that I could not see who he had been communicating with. Then I found a Vault, an app where you can store photos and videos with password protection. I woke Ben up and told him that we needed to talk. When he saw that I was holding his phone, he became as white as a ghost and tried to attack me to retrieve it. I handed it to him and told him I had already seen all that I needed to see. I asked him what the password was to the Vault on his phone, as we had an open device/password policy in our relationship. He absolutely refused to give it to me. He told me he would rather end a relationship than give me the password. That told me everything I needed to know. I took steps the following few days to initiate divorce proceedings. I was so devastated that my rock, my best friend, my partner in life, had treated me like this, and so easily tossed our 7-year relationship away. I went into a state of depression. I could not eat and lost close to 30 pounds, could not sleep, missed several days of work, had to go to counseling and take medications to try to feel normal. After about 2 months of this, my best friend Mallory, 40 female, begged me to get on a dating app to meet some people. I was hesitant because I had never been on a dating app, but thought, what the heck, maybe it will help me get over Ben. I joined Tinder and matched with Jake, 33 male. Jake and I had a lot of fun chatting with one another and eventually decided to meet in person. I was open and honest about my situation with Jake and let him know about my divorce and ex-husband. Jake thought Ben was an idiot for ending our marriage and losing a woman like me. Jake and I increasingly began spending time together and we were inseparable after a few weeks. A few months later in the summer of 2022, Jake asked me if we could be exclusive. In December of 2022, Jake surprised me and asked me to marry him. I was a whirlwind of emotions, but I said yes. Of course, this news made it to social media and that's when I began hearing from Ben again. Ben contacted me to let me know that it was embarrassing to him that I have moved on so quickly and that I was publicly engaged. He was also upset in my choice of partner as he made sure to let me know that he did not approve of Jake for me. I don't even know why he cared, because he cheated on me and ended our marriage. Jake and I got married in 2023 at a tropical destination wedding. It was beautiful, and Jake went above and beyond to make it special for me. Ben reached out to me again to let me know that I looked like the cheater in our relationship, because I moved on so quickly and got remarried. So, am I the a-hole for moving on and remarrying quickly after my ex-husband cheated on me and left me? Now for the top comments. Not a-hole. Stop harassing me. If you are that concerned about my reputation, I'll happily share the screenshots to clear up who cheated. Yep, perfect social media post. Hey everyone, my ex has expressed concern that because I remarried so quickly, people might get the wrong idea and think I cheated. I appreciate his concern and want to set the record straight. It was, of course, Ben who cheated. Often, recklessly, without remorse. That's what probably made it so easy to move on so quickly. That and the fact that I've found the true love of my life with Jake. Thanks to Ben for his concern about my reputation. Please feel free to message me if you want photos or screenshots from the debacle. Not a-hole. Ben doesn't get a say in your life anymore. It's wonderful you've found happiness. Ignore Ben and block him. Yep, Ben is embarrassed that Opie moved on to someone else so quickly after they split. Maybe he should have been more embarrassed that he moved on to several other people while they were still married. Ben is scum. Pay him no mind and be happy, Opie. And none of them wanted him. Next story. Am I the a-hole because I told my ex-husband's son the truth about why we divorced and how he came to be? I, 45 female, used to be married to Dave, 46 male. We were together for 4 years and married for 5 years, from age 18 to 27. I thought the relationship was going well, until I discovered Dave was having an active affair with Carol, who was 25 at the time and is now 43. During that time, I collected evidence, consulted a divorce lawyer, and presented Dave with the divorce papers. Dave did not protest and left me for Carol as she was pregnant, and I had trouble conceiving. As the divorce proceeded, I discovered I was pregnant. Through my moral judgment, I decided to keep the baby and have primary custody, as Dave was enamored with his new fling with Carol. I would give birth to a healthy baby boy in Mark, and Carol would give birth with Nate. Dave would initially deny paternity of Mark, but with DNA test, it is proven he is the father. The boys would grow up to become friends and have a solid relationship despite tense nature of what transpired between Dave and me. The boys are now 17 and entering their senior year of high school. Nate was over last weekend and seemed different, as his mood was sour and he seemed upset. Sitting down with him, I asked what was wrong, and though he appeared apprehensive, he opened up to me about some relationship problems he had been going through. His girlfriend of 2 years had cheated on him, and he was having trouble dealing with the drawbacks of it. He asked me whether or not two individuals could reconcile after infidelity. I was honest with him and said that it depends on the individuals, though it was often better if both parties moved on, as trust between the two had been broken and was not easily repaired. He seemed to take the answer in stride, but then asked me a question I wasn't sure I was prepared for. Is that what happened between you and my father? I confirmed that it had, which is why Dave and I divorced. That his father cheated on me with his mother, which resulted in his birth. He seemed conflicted and responded, "So it's all been a lie?" I asked him about that statement, and apparently his father said that I cheated on him. I corrected him on that point and stated the reason for our divorce was infidelity on his father's part, and I had evidence for it. He thanked me for the conversation and said he needed to go home now as it was getting late. I wished him safe travels and thought nothing else of it until a few hours later when I received an angry phone call from Carol blasting me for why she argued with her son. He went home to have it out with his father over the situation, but he wasn't home yet and couldn't wait. He had a very contentious verbal spat with Carol, calling her some unpleasant names I would not repeat. Now she is calling me a homewrecker. Oh, the irony in that statement. And that I'm an a-hole for poisoning her son's mind. Am I the a-hole for what I discussed with him? Edit. To clarify and answer some common questions I've seen. 1. Nate and Mark know they're half-brothers from a young age. I share custody with Dave, as he would have Mark on the weekends and some holidays. I edited to clarify the relationship, as some were confused about how Nate didn't know he had a brother, but he did. 2. I never discussed with Nate in explicit detail why I and his father didn't work out, as it only came up in that particular conversation. I explained it to Mark at one point when he entered high school, and I asked him his opinion on myself dating at this point, as he is getting older but has a relationship with his father to an extent, and he seemed fine with it. 3. This will be the last time I update, as this was meant to be a throwaway account and posting. Please take my experience as you will. Hopefully it may help or intrigue someone. He's been poisoned with the truth, not a-hole. He was poisoned with lies. He is detoxing on the truth. Detox can be rough, but the end result is a healthier person. I guarantee you that boy already knew. Born extremely close to a half-sibling, and your mom and dad are divorced, but your dad and stepmom aren't. Plus, mom and stepmom don't get along. Not that hard to figure out, especially if/when the relatives are whispering behind closed doors and acting suspicious when the topic comes up. Not a-hole. 1. The victim never has to stay quiet so the villain can save face. 2. Never let someone lie on you, especially when they're attacking your character. 3. What is done in the dark always comes to light. And the audacity to cast as her villain. She's the innocent person and wounded party. How freaking dare they lie about her character? And she's supposed to stay quiet? For what? She owes the kid the truth. Last story. Am I the a-hole for telling my fiance that my little brother is more important than him at our upcoming wedding? I'm 30 female and I'm currently 2 months pregnant with my first child and engaged to my fiance of 3 years, James, 31. For a little background, when I was 15, my parents had my brother, and 5 years after, while I was 20 and Matt was 5, my parents and Matt were driving home when they got into an accident, resulting in my parents' death. After the accident, I was completely destroyed and devastated, but I had to pull myself together to be there for my brother. And the following month, I buried my parents, and with the help of my aunt and uncle, I applied for guardianship of my brother. It took about 7 months before I was approved. I had to get a stable job/income, which I did. Proper housing for me and my brother, which I did by using money from my inheritance to buy a house, and other little things. But in the end, I got my guardianship of my brother. It was hard at first, working while looking after my brother. It's easy now, but there are still its ups and downs. But I would do it all over again for my brother. I met my fiancé when I was 27 at a gathering and we just clicked. After 3 months of dating, he proposed to me. At first, I said no because I still have my brother to take care of. But after thinking, I said yes. And we agreed to wait until we were financially stable. In the beginning of this year, we wanted to tie the knot since I got pregnant and didn't want my baby to be born out of wedlock. And we started the preparations and the wedding is happening in October. But from what happened last week, Saturday night, it looks like there isn't going to be a wedding. There were many issues where we fought and resolved. For example, the wedding date, the date my fiancé wanted for the wedding was on my brother's birthday. I had no problem with that. I wanted to throw my brother a big party because he was turning 14. So I offered the week after, in which we argued and he even ran to his mother to try to convince me. But I stood my ground, stating my brother's birthday is important to me and him. There was a little more fighting, but we ended up resolving it. Then there were the roles I wanted my brother to play in my wedding. At first, I offered my brother to be his best man, but he said he wanted his best friend. I said okay. Then I said ring boy. He would hold the rings on a little pillow and bring it up to us. But James said he wanted his nephew. I said okay and left it. Saturday morning, I was watching this TikTok video where the bride asked her male best friend to be her man of honor, and I thought it was sweet, so I decided to bring it up to him. When he came home, I was in the kitchen while my brother was at sleepover at his friend's house that Saturday night. As he entered and sat, I said I have the perfect role for Matt. Him, what is that? Me, I thought he could be my man of honor and then both wedding parties coming out as couples. They can come out as singles. Him, what? Me, man of honor, or I will call it my brother of honor. It will be lovely. Him, but I thought you wanted my sister to be your maid of honor, so that can't work. Me, I never agreed to this. And what about my brother? I want him to play some role in my wedding. Him, I was thinking he could just be a guest and sit in the rows. I was completely shocked. I wanted my brother to be in my wedding, and not some side guest. I didn't know what to say. He wanted to put my brother on his sidelines. His whole family was playing some part of the wedding, and most of the bridesmaids were his cousins. Only 2 were close friends. But this he couldn't grant me? I stopped what I was doing and told him no. It was my wedding too, and I want my brother to be my man of honor. And he started that his sister was better, and my brother would be guest, and he didn't want children in the wedding parties. I completely lost it and started arguing with him from one thing to the next. Since Saturday, he hasn't come home, only sending his brother to pick up some of his stuff. And his mother and sister have been blowing up my phone that I'm a selfish woman, and so what if my brother is a guest? So the last time they called was Wednesday night, and I went crazy in both of them, using language I'm not proud of. But I end a call with, yes, my brother is more important than him at his wedding if it's happening, and I will never put him in front of Matt. So I'm effing sorry, and to let James contact me to talk things out. Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole, Pump the brakes on marrying this man, baby, who runs home to mommy when his temper tantrum doesn't get him what he wants. Then he has his family gang up on his pregnant girlfriend. He does not care about you, your wants or your needs. He's selfish, self-centered, manipulative, a bully, abusive, and honestly, a complete tool. It seems you're only marrying him because you don't want your child born out of wedlock. Please reconsider. His mask is slipping, since now he's trapped you with a pregnancy and next a marriage. This is what abusers do. You need to talk to your brother and see if your stupid baby daddy has been saying anything to him, like threats, or how things are going to be when he's the man of the house. Based on what you've said, I bet he either has or has some grand plans as to how life will be in your home. And for the love of God, do not put that man on the deed on your house. In fact, if you go through with the marriage, get a prenup. Bet he loses his mind when you do. You are a great mom to your brother, and you did it all on your own. He's your child, and you are absolutely, positively doing the right thing here. You will be a great mom to your baby as well. If you marry this man, you'll just be parenting another child. This man is 1000% going to toss your brother's things on the yard the second your brother is 18. He does not care about what you want. It's all about him. Leave him with his mommy for 2 weeks, and just notice how much easier your life is. I doubt he'd wait until 18. I'm thinking 14 or 15. Not a-hole. By his logic, your brother should be his best man. Or at the very least, a groomsman. But he is not offering that, is he? Dude is jealous of OP's brother. OP, if you marry this man, he will be talking about having your brother move in with your aunt or some other relation within the month, so you two can start your real family. He sees your brother as a disposable obstacle in the way of the life he wants, and he will try to remove him sooner or later. Protect yourself, your brother, and your unborn child, and do not marry this person. After 3 months of dating, he proposed. This was already a red flag that should have given you pause about him. Then all of the other nonsense. Your soon-to-be ex is jealous of your brother and has planned to cancel him from yours/his life after the wedding. I'd be 100% rethinking having a kid with someone like this. He will be jealous of the baby and thinking up ways to destroy that kid's self-esteem, place in the family, and more.